Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again. I am your host, Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video and on-demand horror movies, and occasionally a horror TV show, just like now. My co-host and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, episode 6. 6. Oh, things are getting good. Mm-hmm. All right, before we get into the review, let me introduce my co-host, starting off with the one and only, Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm excited. Every time this week, I'm excited to watch a new episode.
Yes, and straight up through the holidays. All right, also joining us is comic artist, screenwriter, director, right? An all-around nice guy. Yeah. Well, that
sounds weird coming out of somebody's mouth.
Yeah. Chad Hunt. Chad, how you doing?
Monstrous.
There we go.
Yeah, and I feel Muto.
Maybe by the end of the episode, you'll feel more monstrous.
Yeah. All right. It's going nowhere. But anyway.
We tried.
There is some interesting, fun stuff to talk about before we get into the reviews. This is episode 499 of Gruesome Magazine. And our next episode will be, you guessed it, episode 500. A landmark episode for us. And will be our best of 2023. And I imagined, Chad, Jeff, that there might be some Godzilla action on that.
Oh, heck yeah.
There might be. I don't know where I did see a list with Godzilla #1 somewhere already.
Somewhere. In your brain. It was there, right there on your piece
It's been a good year, man. It's been a good year for horror.
It has. It'll be interesting if next year can hold it up. That's the following episode. It's the most anticipated for 2024. But before we get into all that, which will also have a Godzilla movie, speaking of Godzilla, we are here to talk about Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Of course, that is part of the Monsterverse, which includes Kong. They don't really reference him as King Kong, but it's Kong.
Yeah.
And, of course, Godzilla and all their Titan friends. This series takes place, right after what they call G-Day, which is the Godzilla that came out
2014
or 2013. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like crazy.
2014, yeah.
2014, almost 10 years ago. That's insane to think
wow.
about. Isn't that insane to think about?
It is.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you our first impression of this episode. That will be spoiler free. It's going to be hard not to do any spoiler free, but we'll try. And then we'll get into a discussion. We'll get into the nitty gritty and all the cool aspects of it, and maybe some anticipation of the next 4 episodes to come. And then we'll wrap things up with our score 1 to 5 and our favorite scene, which we may end up picking the same one, but that'll be okay.
That's
tonight.
Okay.
That'll be okay tonight. But we hope you enjoy this review. Not only this review, but many others that we have on the site. If you do, please hit the like, subscribe, share with a friend button. Each click will help us find more horror fans like you. And those of you who've been clicking, and quite a few of you have, thank you very much. It is quite the holiday gift to my heart. All right.
Clicking.
All right, here we go. You guys can fire me now. All right, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters 2023, AppleTV, available streaming on AppleTV beginning November 17th, 2023. This is episode 6 of season 1. We're hoping for season 2. I don't know. But we can hope, right? It's called Terrifying Miracles. Shaw finds an unlikely ally within Monarch as the team has a harrowing run-in. Keiko and Lee grow closer while at a military ball. There's a soap opera element in there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. All right, directed by Mairzee, Almas, developed by Chris Black and Matt Fraction, written by Karl, Taro, Greenfeld, and Mariko, Tamaki. The cast includes Anna Sawai. Sorry. We'll go with that. Kirstie Clemens, Ren Watabe, Mari Yakamoto, Anders Holm, Joe Tippett, Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell, Takahiro Hira, Kyoko Kudo, and Christopher Heyerdahl.
Nice, Doc.
Who is
Nice.
actually back in this episode as the General.
Mm-hmm.
The General. So other than poor Anna, who I
Fuck
can't
it.
figure out how to say her last name, I wish my son. Never mind. Let's get into what we think. And Chad, sir, I'm really excited to hear what Jeff has to say. No, I'm just kidding. Chad, what is your first impression?
Favorite child.
Terrifying Miracles, episode 6.
I really, really like this episode. It had a good balance between the human drama and what was going on with the monsters and everything. Some of the mystery started to unfold of some of the stuff we were talking about between Shaw and Kay. We get to find out a little bit more about that. Great action. Kurt Russell was great in this one. His character. This is some of the best thing I've seen him in a long time. I'll say that.
Wow, nice.
And I really like him in this, as well as Wyatt Russell. He's great in it too. And putting the two of them together like they did in the last episode, where they fade out and
that was awesome, man.
Was really great. And you really can't tell the difference between those two, and except for the age of them. It's just amazing how similar they are. And I still can't tell if he's really trying to sound like his dad, a lot in it.
Or just sounds like him, right?
Or just sounds like him. But it's great stuff. It's a little more action or drama between the kids there. And it was just a great episode. I really, really liked it. And, of course, we'll talk about what happened in it monster-wise and once we get into spoilers. But just a great episode. Great episode.
Great episode. All right, Jeff Mohr, what was your first impression of Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, episode 6?
What Chad said.
Nah!
No, I thought it was a good balance too. I mean, we got more Titans, sort of, but we got Titans in a couple different time periods, and we developed the relationships. We found out we've got one character that did something I wasn't expecting in any way, shape, or form. So I thought that was cool, and I had a lot of fun with it. And the CGI just continues to impress the crap out of me. And maybe we talk about this.
For a TV show. Wow.
For Apple TV at that, right? So.
Yeah. So I'm digging it. I'm we're learning stuff about Shaw and Keiko's relationship and what's going on when something else happens to Monarch back in the day, something else happens to Monarch up in the day. It's cool.
It's cool. I'll second that. It is cool. We're back. In the past episode, we didn't visit the past, although the far past, the 50s, with the younger version of Lee Shaw and his friends, Keiko and Bill, and it's good to have them back. I really like that balance of the two storylines.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about what happens there, so we'll look forward to that here just shortly. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed our new characters teaming back up with, of course, the Kurt Russell version of Lee Shaw. It's so weird to differentiate them, but and I agree. There are some shots, especially from like under.
Yeah.
That man, you just looks like him. Looks like they de-aged him sometimes, but it's pretty amazing. So I had a great time. There is some kaiju action. We'll get into that, and there's some great set work and great piecework. There's some great character development in both settings. Really strong episode. Really interested to see where it goes now. And yes, I don't know how far a click is either.
Well, but the 10 of them are where the next town was.
Is that what a click is? A kilometer?
Yeah. So 10 clicks is like 6 miles.
How many clicks have we been so far?
I'm still clicking.
Different clicks. But anyway, yeah. I thank you for that. That makes now that you said it, it makes perfect sense. But I would not have. I never knew what a click was until I was today years old.
It's military talk for lingo, jargon.
Yep. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, right? All right, let's get into all this. First thing, let's get to the kaiju action because I think that's what most people are wanting. We basically get double up on the Godzilla appearances. One with younger Lee and Keiko and Bill, and then another.
We see the
kaiju
kaiju telephone makes its appearance with it.
The kaiju phone is now a thing,
although.
And Godzilla throws it across the room just like humans throws it. Alarm clocks and phones across the room.
There's nothing on this TV.
Hung up on it. And telemarketer, but you do notice that we're sprinkling the words around liberally, but they never use the term kaiju in this show.
No, that's
It's always Titan or Mutos from.
Yeah.
Primarily Titans. Yeah. Yeah, because I think once we have G-Day, those more giant stink bug looking things, they become Mutos, right?
Yeah.
Don't they
giant stink bugs. They do kind of look like them, yeah.
But
that's where, so the scene with the kaiju phone, that was the part I thought was cooler than hell when he throws it up and then starts to rise out of the water. Shaw and Keiko aren't looking directly at it because they had to duck the Titan phone. And you see, as it's coming up, they actually put multiple sort of liquid versions of shockwaves coming,
Mm-hmm.
And the first one that ripples out hits the dock and shocks them, and they turn around and see the big ones coming. And I just, that whole water sequence, it just impressed the crap out of me.
Yep.
They're so good. They're doing such a great job at that.
And it looks like Godzilla had been hibernating in modern day or something since the 2014
like back then
film.
too, right?
Yeah, I mean, since this would be his first appearance since the 2014 film, if I got the timeline correct, right?
Right, but that one, just so we know, people are listening, that's not the one in the water. That's the one in the desert.
The water
right.
is in 1955, and I'm trying to remember it. At one point, I was doing a timeline. Let me see if I got it on there or not.
Right. We flash back to the present day, and Godzilla. It looks like the kid's dad was actually trying to lure Godzilla, and we find out. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I think you were going to say it. Go ahead.
We find out what the real reason Shaw's intentions are with Monarch, and they're actually trying to help Godzilla because of whatever this is that's coming. So that's a big reveal, because everybody thought, how are we going to stop him? How are you going to kill Godzilla? But he goes, I'm trying to help him. I'm not trying to destroy him.
Yeah, because he sees Godzilla as Earth's protector, not the creature that destroyed San Francisco, because it's actually Mutos that did that. But
and I think it's...
And we're going out of order.
Yeah. So I'm back in the 50s, and I think it was 1954 in the episode where they explode the atomic bomb on Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when the mushroom cloud's finally gone, there's no more Godzilla, and so when he comes up out of there, Shaw goes, Jesus Christ.
We didn't kill him. We didn't kill him. He's like shocked, and Kay's face is like got a big grin on it. Like, you didn't kill him. Right.
And now what's the military going to do? Because she's talked about that. They're just going to try to make bigger and bigger weapons,
So I kind of said before we recorded that I had a little nitpick. And I want to drop that nitpick right now because it involves Godzilla. And the main thing is basically we have two appearances of Godzilla, which are almost, except for the location and the date, they're almost exactly the same, right? You got the Titan phone, and you got the creature coming up out
Yeah.
to the surface. And,
Yeah. Hiroshi's got his own version of the Titan phone on the back of
Right.
his truck. Yeah.
Now I get it structurally why they were doing it, but as an audience, it felt a little repetitive. What saved it is the coming up out of the sand, because we've seen Godzilla come up out of the water a lot. Now we've seen him come out of the earth as well in the Toho films, but we haven't seen. I don't think we've seen that in the MonsterVerse films, right?
No, not at all.
But when he comes out of that mountain, and we get that close up of the eye, it's really amazing, really truly amazing.
And he's like looking at him.
Yeah, she goes. He saw me. He looked at me.
Yeah, he saw me. He looked at me.
Yeah, and Kurt Russell goes, he sure did.
Now run! That was so cool. That was so cool.
Yeah, when they figured out Hiroshi was waving them off, that's the thing I like about this is, I think that's the second time where Shaw just out of nowhere screams "run," and everybody runs like hell without. The other time was the guy that was flying the plane.
Yep.
And he tells everybody, "We got to go," and then
They keep finding themselves right on top of buried monsters for some reason.
Yeah, nobody stands there going, "Why? What's going on?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing this." That's just like, boom, we're getting the hell out of here. So anyway, and I don't know when it's coming. What did Shaw say? What does he tell Kate?
1,000 times worse than
Yeah,
G-Day.
so he started saying hundreds, and then he goes to thousands, and I don't know if he's talking about the Rise of the Monsters or Godzilla versus Kong, or if he's talking about the new one. I don't know, or something worse.
Well, they've seen the signs that this is building, and it's way bigger than G-Day. So there's the
gamma radiation, gamma.
More
but of course, and in Godzilla King of the Monsters, there were like 16 Titans that all rose up out of or was it 23? I can't remember.
I can't.
There were 16 or 23 Titans that came up out of the ground, out to the surface, and of course it was the, Ghidra, not Ghidra. Is it Ghidra? It's Ghidra, right?
Yeah.
Ghidra. Depends on where you read it. Versus Godzilla in that movie. So I don't know if they're referencing that or not. Maybe that's what it's about, or maybe they stop whatever Kurt Russell's talking about in this show. I don't know, but it is interesting that you get that foreshadow.
Yeah, it is.
Now one thing. So there are some character developments in this. One is that Duvall, basically breaks rank and frees Lee Shaw, and they go after the kids so they can find everything. And there's others. There's other.
Yeah, we find out there's kind of a renegade faction in Monarch going on.
Right.
What the hell are these guys?
Which kind of makes sense of her character now, why she was sort of protecting Tim and.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that, because Tim's
a jerk anyway.
Okay, so Tim's working with the leader of Monarch, and they figure it out, right? He figures out the pins on the wall and from the holes, which, hey, Columbo, he is, right? That was good reference, right? For all the Columbo fans out there. And then he's in a helicopter with a bunch of Monarch goons, and they don't get hit by the spikes.
Well, Shaw said nobody made it out of the crash.
He did. He said nobody made it out of the crash. So does that mean Tim's dead?
Okay, so
or was there
that
more
whole
than
thing
one
was interesting to me. He comes walking out of the dust holding a 45 and says nobody made it out alive.
Yeah.
I'm going, did you help any of them along, or did Tim? I'd hate to see Tim being dead, because I kind of enjoyed the character.
I don't think he is.
Acting.
Well, we didn't see him die. We didn't see
I think he's
body.
probably hiding under a rock or something.
Yeah.
Right. He's stuck on Godzilla's back.
Godzilla's back.
The rotor hits one of his back
fins,
plate.
Yeah. Now, is there only one helicopter, or is there two?
There was just the one, I believe.
There was just one, right? Yeah. Right. Okay. So it's definitely Tim's helicopter got hit. Now, whether he died or not.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Verdugo was not on it. That's the one I wanted to see.
True. But so that was interesting, and so our development with the kids that we've been following is that May reveals that she sold him out, gave him up, told him why, and they are none too happy about it. And of course, they're the ones that have to go the 10 clicks to civilization because they've had enough of Shaw. And
But she sold them out to what's her name?
Duval.
Duvall.
So and Duvall ends up, not on the evil Monarch side, but this faction of Monarch. So that was interesting too.
But she didn't know that at the time.
She didn't know it. But,
She didn't know it, and they didn't care. They didn't seem to care. And
Duvall promised her she would follow through on her promise, though, to get her home,
and to make her problems go away. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, she said she would once they got done with their little mission.
Yeah.
But of course, she failed on it. So I don't know. I found that interesting, and there's but not as interesting as what happens back in the 50s, as we get a little bit more of the romantic soap opera shenanigans, if you will, Chad, right?
Yeah.
Between Shaw and Kay. There's definitely sparks, some chemistry going on, and so I'm curious about what is going on there, as far as who's whose
daddy? Kids are
who the daddy.
I'm the baby's daddy. That's they're pulling that off really well, though. They're kind of keeping it close to the vest, even though it's kind of revealed now that they care about each other. And
they lip lock, so
they lip locked. They were holding hands, and
they were talking about family and stuff.
Family and kids.
They were, weren't
the best
they?
thing I like about kids is making them. I'm gonna get that put on a T-shirt.
Yep.
So that was a great edit.
Quote by Shaw.
One slow elevator away from accomplishing that, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was a great edit, though. He says that, and then it cuts to him pushing the elevator.
And her standing there and smiling.
They were heading for making. Yeah.
Then here comes the C blocker.
Yeah.
With the telegram, with the mission.
The other thing that's weird about that is Bill Randa seems clueless, or
does he though?
Not at all.
He didn't to me.
With Kay.
Does he though?
Oh, he didn't seem clueless.
He sort of ushered. He goes, "You know what's worse than being a third wheel, a fourth wheel?" And he sort of takes.
Well, I don't mean that. What I mean by clueless, that's the wrong word.
I think he realizes that there's something there, and he's not going to stand in the way of it. I think.
Right. Right. Their relationship is developing. Bill and Keiko are still just a work relationship. It seems like.
So he sort of ushered the little guy off. That was
but she's
little guy.
little
pretty
filmmaker.
pissed at him now too. Dr. Suzuki.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't supposed to go. Shaw wasn't supposed to go there.
And they pay for it. They pay for it. We got to talk about that.
What was his name? What's the general's name?
Puckett.
General Puckett told him, if you go, if you stay, he goes, whatever you decide to do, he goes, I'll follow through how I have to. But you
make
do
your choice, and then I'll make
your
mine.
choice, and I'll make mine. And Shaw decided to go and save her or help her, and so they were all in big trouble, and because Puckett stepped down, and they got a new leader for Monarch.
They put somebody else in charge. Yeah.
Looks like a real jackass.
Yeah, and of course that might be
Shaw out of position. Yeah,
and that might be the wedge that comes between our Lee and Shaw.
She's pretty mad, and
May. No, gosh bless her. Kay, not May.
Hey,
Kay and Lee.
One of the things she says before Godzilla comes up from the water is, sooner or later we'll make a decision based on what's good for us, not what's good for Monarch.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops, already happened.
But they didn't share, or at least they didn't show it, because one thing that they said that we have to share the news about, Godzilla still being alive.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess they don't. Do they share it? Because,
they didn't in this episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think he's going to, or do you think he's going to keep it under wraps now?
I think he might change, yeah.
Yeah, because Puckett was kind of on his side about Monarch.
Well,
Puckett wanted him to be
the scene they showed in 59 where Kay dies, right? From the whatever. How did you describe those things?
Doc did.
The baby stink bugs? Yeah.
Yeah. In that thing, they have the Jeep, but I don't think Shaw has I don't think he was wearing a uniform in that sequence.
Yeah, we didn't see
I
the
don't
uniform
remember.
until episode 2 when he showed up with the announcement that he had to go protect.
Well,
them.
yeah. But so I don't know. I don't know what that means, if it means anything. But I in terms of their relationship, I thought they did a great job showing that. And yeah, it took a little bit of time. Probably the overall time wasn't all that long, but in a very short period of time, you find out she doesn't want to be there. Bill's not going to be there. They got to go over and say their hellos. The general says something really stupid.
She's one of the good ones.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
She's one of the. That's a Japanese name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other guy doesn't sound negative about it at all,
Mm-hmm.
but the general takes it that way, and then when they decide to dance, and everybody in the place is staring at them, and they do this nice scene where it's. I usually don't like this, but I thought it worked really well. They do a little bit of slow motion, and there's eye gazing into each other's eyes and some cheek to cheek, and you really get that. They did it so well; it really showed the.
There's some serious
the
chemistry going on.
I guess, yeah.
There's chemistry. It was like ooh,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately I'm thinking yeah.
This is what I
Lee
really.
Shaw, you are the baby's daddy.
They're between this show and Godzilla -1. They're really having, and this has always been a problem with Godzilla movies, and everybody's biggest complaint is nobody cares about the ancillary characters and the humans, but they've really here lately with the show and the movie have stepped that game up quite a bit with the characterizations and actually caring about the humans involved, and it's made it for such better Godzilla films. I find myself just as interested in what's going on with the characters as I do with the Godzilla and the monster action.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
you have to give that props. And it's really stepped up quite a bit.
But when we get to Kaiju, when you get Godzilla walking away in the desert with the two mountains in the distance, oh man, that was a great shot.
It was, man.
Scope and size and just
I didn't expect Godzilla to come
all
out
of
there.
No, I thought it was going to be a different one, right?
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be one of the other ones. But they had the look, the eye, and you see it kind of contract a little bit to
And
focus
he's like-
in on her.
Oh, the iris zooms in on it.
Yeah.
So it's really good shot, really good shot. Now, last thing, the shot where he's back in the 50s when he's in the water, coming at it when they're not looking yet.
Mhm.
Does that remind you of the jaw scene from from Godzilla -1?
Oh yeah,
because it just got Godzilla's head.
him coming. Yeah,
Yep. I
God,
wonder
it
if
was
that
such a good scene.
was that a coincidence or was that a homage to them?
Who
Well-
knows? I don't know.
They're doing lots of neat little things. I think that they're dropping little you call them an Easter egg or something, but sort of like different versions of Chekhov's gun that make they mean something later on. Just comments or things that show up. And one of the things I thought made a difference was when they're in the desert and Godzilla rises up out of the dirt. In fact, I think his back plates, weren't they sort of like the rocks sticking up, but they were all covered with crusty stuff. He spins around, and Kate knows that when he spins around, the next thing coming is that tail.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's the only one. Well, Shaw probably knows it too, but she ducks. I didn't notice if the other ones ducked or not, but I just thought, I think, wasn't it his tail that knocked the bus off the bridge?
No, I think the bus, she saved half the kids, and then the bridge buckled or shaped.
Well, some piece of junk.
He busted through the other half of the bridge, and
caused a shake, and it
caused it to fall.
Some piece of debris came and hit, and it fell off. I
think it was one of the wires.
But
That
anyway.
was one of the wires, but it might have been
Yeah, probably.
And that's going to make an interesting dynamic as well with her she's got a vendetta against Godzilla. She hates him because he's caused so much trauma. And she was right there when everybody else.
She's really mad at Shaw. Yeah.
Everybody else is going to be trying to help.
That's
Godzilla.
a good point. That's she's the leader of the people that cut out.
Yeah.
And her thing is, you're trying to save this thing. I'm trying to find my dad, so I'm,
But that's the irony of it, is that the dad's going to be where Godzilla is too. Why didn't they stick with Shaw? Because that's where the guy.
She should have. She should have. But that's what emotions. You guys, is it too early to ask? Do you have any expectations or predictions where this is going in the last 4 episodes? Or
I felt like it's going to lead up to. I just completely lost my thought. It's going to lead up to the first 2014 film, is what I thought.
Well, it's already past the 2014.
It's past that.
Oh, that's right. It's past that. The next one would have been.
That would have been Kong Skull Island.
Right, but that takes place in the past, so it would be.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. In the 70s.
So it'd be King of the Monsters.
Right.
King of the Monsters will be next.
Lead up
so,
to,
and that's the one that had Rodan, Ghidra, all the other stuff. So that's I thought maybe that was the threat they're talking about, and that will be why they were trying to help Godzilla. That's what I think. But
what I don't want to happen, I was thinking about this today, is because these kids are looking for their dad, and they literally every time they get a little closer, they see signs that he's alive. And now this time they actually saw him for a minute. And then he jumps in his truck and drives away as fast as he can.
And he tells them to go that way in the direction of the monster.
Right.
Away.
I just don't want this to be one of those series where it's like the eternal quest that never.
No.
I hope that they're reunited with their father sometime before the end of this season, assuming there's going to be more seasons.
I just want to hear Hiroshi go to Lee Shaw, "Dad, what are you doing?" I think that's what's going to end with, is that we're going to reveal the truth. But that's me wishful thinking.
Okay, I'd go along with that. But there's a lot of ways, or it could end up with this pending disaster looming too, But
there's another mystery that they have to solve.
As long as they're making some progress and I get some satisfaction out of it, I guess I'll be okay.
Yeah, because there are other mysteries to solve. We got to find out the age thing with Shaw, because there's about 20 years lost, right? And then does
from an accident at work.
An accident at work. Does Kay actually die or not? We don't know. We presume she did, because that was quite the fall. But does she die? And maybe does she reappear? Maybe what would it be like if the last couple of frames are her walking into the frame in the present?
What happened to her is something similar to what happens to Shaw.
Whatever happened to Shaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like she's in some kind of hibernation or something since then. I don't know. But they do say that he lost his mom when he was little, so no one has seen her since, at least.
They go off into the sunset and the kids carry on as the new Monarch. Yep. And it ended like that, maybe as a cliffhanger or something. And if there's a season 2, those guys will be the new Monarch. And
now, I don't want to keep going on, but there's another question I have. The new character that we introduced, the scientist that makes the Kaiju phone, he calls where they are Monster Island, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Now, will we see Skull Island?
Maybe season 2 will come out after the new Kong versus Godzilla, which a lot of that takes place in.
Yeah, technically we did, because it was in the first segment of the show.
We made reference to it. Yeah, we had.
We saw
Bill Randa was on Skull Island.
On Skull Island.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But will we see it again? So, I don't know. Anyway, we wrap this.
We could go on and on.
I looked up that island. I have to do that stuff when they show places. I look them up. So that island is not too far east of Taiwan, but it's labeled as the southernmost point of Japan.
Okay.
Just a tiny little island out there all by
might
itself.
actually be what the Monster Island from the Toho movies.
Hmm.
All right, with that, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give a score.
No, I
And,
love it too much.
and our favorite scene. Chad, you're up first.
Like I said, I've been giving these a 4.5. I really like some of the development, the plot developments and the character developments in this one. And then that made it a little bit more. I'll give this one a 4.75 on this one because it was close to a 5, but not quite. But I don't know. And my favorite scene, of course, is when the ground started cracking, and because I totally did not expect Godzilla to come out of the ground, and but there he came, and boy, was it glorious! It made the whole first 45 minutes of the show that didn't have a monster in it worth it. You know, it's like I said, that it's a perfect balance. So I just and you guys can say that was your favorite episode too. I don't care. I don't blame you one bit if you do. But yeah, it's just this was a great episode, I thought, and yeah.
He says. Yeah, Jeff, your score, favorite scene.
I'm totally with you, Chad, because that I expected something to come out of that big plane.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. The way he was
Yeah.
telling them the way Mohr.
So anyway, let's see. I'm going to do that too. Chad and I are sort of simpatico on these. I'm going to go 4.75 because I did like the way they developed Shaw's and Keiko's relationship, and then sort of dashed it to bits right at the end. And the kid, it's just good, you know. Shaw's development, he's like fed up. I'm not arguing with you anymore. I'm keeping the map. We're going.
My map now, punk.
Yeah. So anyway, 4.75. And favorite scene, well, since you took that one, I'll take the, I'll take when the Titan phone comes flying out of the lake right at.
That's a good
that was cool.
Shot. That was cool.
Falls with the Godzilla. I've enjoyed it. I was thinking 4.75, but it's 4.5 for me. You could twist my arm hard enough and it would happen. I could go to 4.5. Really enjoyed this. And the best scene is Godzilla coming up out of the earth, because we haven't seen that as much as coming out of the water for sure. And it was just so remarkably well done, especially when, the eyeball looks at her and, you saw me, you sure did. If it's not that, I really loved it when they go back in, the FEMA housing, right? They go back into the house, and there's Shaw and Duvall and the whole conversation with them.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Well, she was worried about her mom.
Yeah.
She sees them when she sees Duvall there. Yeah.
Now, was he saying that they were off to work or off to make whoopee? I couldn't figure out what the
throwing
phrase
pan
he was using.
Throwing pots.
Yeah, is that what the kids say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really sure what he was implying, but it sounded more like.
Well, throwing, doing the pottery is throwing something, but still.
But
throwing clay.
So throwing clay. So there you go. That's what. That's our review. Our review is almost as long as the episode itself, so we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe buttons and share with a friend, and we can find more horror fans just like you.
Yes.
Jeff, thank you for joining me. Lots of fun. Oh, this is so much fun.
Absolutely. I'm loving this.
Four more episodes left. 4 more episodes.
Hopefully and beyond.
Yeah, and hopefully more.
So
has
anybody heard about how it's doing ratings wise or anything?
I have
ranked
not.
number 1. When you go to the Apple page, it's always number 1.
Yeah.
On Apple, but what is it with everybody else? I don't know. We'll just do some research for the next episode.
Okay.
You definitely want to catch the best of and the most anticipated. There's probably going to be some Godzilla action in those. Just letting you know. Just
episode 500, folks.
500. All right. Well, with that, guys, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.